Hi, I want to talk about beginner's luck. But first, let me say that I went somewhere and I did something. In the last video, I was bitching and moaning about how my partner and I never go anywhere or do anything. And every day is really routine and I'm kind of stuck in my routine. And he wouldn't take me golfing with him, even though I asked nicely several times. I think it was the day after I posted the video, I finally went golfing with him. So pretty quick results. See, I learned this trick from our 4-year-old poodle. Poppy goes pretty much everywhere with my partner. Every day they go places, running errands together. She goes to work with them. She goes to job sites. She's very good, very professional. She knows how to behave in a professional manner around construction sites. But sometimes she just can't go because maybe he needs to run an errand and go inside of a store that she can't go into and it's too hot so he can't leave her in the truck. Sometimes she just doesn't get to go with him. And she finds this deeply, deeply disappointing. Whenever something like that happens, some incident where she didn't get to go, her feelings are really hurt. In the hours and days following that, she is hyper vigilant, watching his every move. If he brushes his teeth, maybe he's about to go somewhere. Or if he plugs in his iPad to charge it, maybe he's about to go somewhere. So she watches him real close, and when she starts to see the signs, she runs out and stands by the truck. And eventually he'll open the truck door to put supplies in or take supplies out, make sure he has everything he needs to take with him. And at that point, she just jumps in the truck and sits in the passenger seat and refuses to move. And she insists, I am going with you. And her mind cannot be changed. So when that happens, sometimes even if it's not convenient for him, my partner will just accommodate her and do whatever he needs to do to make it work. And then she gets to go with him. Cool trick, Poppy. So that's what I did. I knew he was going to be home from work soon. I made sure I was ready. I wore the right clothes for golfing. I had my water bottle filled and ready to go. And my partner came home and he was very hot because he'd been working all day and he was dehydrated. So he went into the house to put some electrolyte powder in his water bottle. And while he was doing that, I just simply got into the truck and sat in the passenger seat and refused to move. So then he had to take me with him. So we went to the public golf course that's like less than a mile away. And we went to the putting green. It was even better than I imagined it would be. It really hit the spot. The very best thing about it was that I slipped off my sandals. I was walking in my bare feet, golfing in my bare feet on this super short, high quality grass, and it felt amazing. I don't think I've walked with my bare feet on the ground in a long, long time. I generally can't do that because I need to keep my feet super clean for barefoot massage. I have to take really good care of them. But this grass was really clean and nice and plush, and I imagine the putting green doesn't have very much dog pee on it. So I felt confident in walking barefoot on the putting green, and it just renewed me. I can't explain it. Maybe there really is something to, barefoot grounding. People say that you ground yourself by walking on the earth. And maybe there really is something to it because it felt fantastic. It was warm and breezy, and it just felt amazing to be in such a wide open space with so much green all around. And it felt cool to just go somewhere and to go somewhere with my partner. It made me feel like a real person, doing real people stuff, going places and doing things. So we got to the putting green, and first he hit 3 balls in the hole. And then he handed me the putting stick and he told me to try. And the stick thing was too long because he's 6'2" and I'm 5 foot tall. So I had to hold it below the grip, or else it would be too long and it would just hit the ground. So it was a little awkward, not ideal. And so I hit 3 balls and 2 of them went in and 1 of them didn't go in. And he was really amazed. He thought that was a great job because apparently for someone who never plays golf, the balls don't usually go into the hole. But see, I forgot that. I think I knew somewhere in my mind, but I just kind of forgot that it was hard. I mean, he told me to hit the balls into the hole, and so that's what I did. I mean, that's why we're here. We're here to hit balls in the hole. So I just did what he told me to do. And then I remembered about 15 years ago, maybe a little more, he took me to the driving range. Where you stand on a platform thingy and you hit the balls into the distance out in the field. You have a big bucket of balls. So he demonstrated. He hit some balls out into the field, and then it was my turn. And I hit the balls because that's why we were there. And he was kind of shocked. And he said, wow, you're doing great. And I thought he was just blowing smoke up my ass. And I was dubious. I said, yeah, how so? Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. How am I doing a good job? And he said, well, you're making contact with the ball. Not everyone does that. A lot of times beginners miss the ball and they kind of chip the ground. And I realized then that if I had known that missing the ball was a possibility, I probably would have. I would have missed it. But I just didn't know it was a possibility. There's people around me and they're hitting the balls, and so I just did what they were doing. So I think that's why people have beginner's luck, because they just aren't aware that they can fail. They aren't aware of all the possible ways that they might fail. So if my mind was full of ideas about how difficult it was, or even full of a lot of ideas about technique and how you're supposed to do it, I probably wouldn't have done so well. So after hitting those first 3 balls, my game deteriorated because I got 2 out of 3 balls in, but there was that 1 ball that didn't go in. So now I was aware of the possibility that sometimes balls don't go in the hole. And I saw my partner get some in and not get some in. So that sort of reinforced the idea that the balls don't always go in. And, maybe this is a little bit harder than it appears at first glance. And there were these 2 young college boys, and I saw the same thing happen to them as time went by. And they were really talking about technique and thinking about technique, and they were really overthinking it. And I could see how having all these ideas about technique could really mess you up and hurt your game, because you just get up in your head and you really start to overthink the whole thing. I was definitely not using good technique, and the equipment I was using wasn't even the right size for me. And I still got 2 of them in. So after a while, these college boys, did worse and worse, and then they left. And we didn't stay that long either, maybe like 40 minutes. We just hit some in, and then after a while, it seemed like it got harder and harder for me and for my partner too. He missed more because you just start to think too much about technique. And I'm not really sure what the moral of this story is, because I don't know how to get into that beginner's luck zone and just stay there. I've just always found it really interesting. And I've noticed it in similar situations. Playing pool. If I haven't played pool in a long time, then I tend to do really well in the first game. And then as soon as I start to miss, then I miss more because I start to overthink it, and I realize that it's not as easy as it looks. When it's been a long time, I'm just approaching it fresh, and really all I'm doing is just looking at the pocket, looking at the ball, intending the ball to go into the pocket, sort of visualizing the ball going in the pocket, and then I just hit the ball and it goes in the pocket. It's that simple. There's not a whole lot of doubt. There's no technique. It's just pure intention. Picture the ball going in the pocket and it goes in. So I don't know how to stay into that beginner's luck zone. I would like to know how. I would like to know how to bring this approach to more things in my life. I guess being relaxed and not overthinking it is the key, but I'm not really sure how to do that once you start to overthink something. The overthinking has this kind of momentum and just keeps going. Yeah, let me know if you've solved this one, if you have any ideas about how to keep the beginner's luck thing going. Okay, bye.